qui morde la terre et la sépare enfin.
Empezamos el episodio número...
Empezamos. Hablamos en inglés.
Por favor.
Something sounds strange.
Alright, so today we are talking about Saint-Marie. Oui. So
we just come back 2 days ago from Arles. We
Yeah, a
had
few
the
days
time
ago we
to
came
make
back.
another episode there.
and we have been in this wonderful place near the Mediterranean Sea in the south of France, and we want to talk about a painting of Van Gogh, who was there in the same place as us.
The place called
Saint-Marie.
de la Mer.
Saint-Marie de la Mer,
Very good.
where gypsies are gathering. I have-
Prepared. Why it's called like this?
Why it's called like this?
Gypsy, what you say?
Why gypsies are gathering there?
Uh-huh.
Because they have a saint there, Saint Sarah, who
Who is a little bit
Who is,
maroon?
who is representing the gypsy community.
Uh-huh.
So people from gypsies from all around Europe are once a year they are going there
So we will
since
have
ancient times.
some viewers maybe.
Somewhat?
Some viewers in this,
We will
for
have
this
viewers,
episode.
oh,
New target now.
Yeah, the
Yeah, we
target.
have another target.
Yes, from so many.
Let's begin.
But we are talking about the painting today.
Sure.
The church that
Mhm.
we are talking about, it's represented in this painting in the center of the painting, and around it we have the village.
But
and-
Van Gogh painted this painting when it was the time when he lived in Arles, and he had just take some days, the end of the May, beginning of the June, and he go with the gypsy there with the diligence, because they celebrate this meeting that they do every year, and they say, hey, come with us, it will be a lot of drink, it will be nice. And they say, oh, okay, come and go. And
I'll
it
do
was
my
something
job.
like this, and they go together there, transport free.
Hitchhiking.
Yeah, and it's that time when he painted this painting, end of the May. You
June.
can continue.
Okay, so here we have a landscape where Van Gogh is sitting next to the sea, because we walked by that area, and it's the same perspective that we had, and it seems he was next to the sea. He had a field of lavender and some bushes in the foreground,
Uh-huh.
and in the background we see the village,
Yeah,
which is
so
smaller than.
if I correctly, remember correctly, because I remember when you showed me this picture, before we had just come back to Arles, right? And I remember I had pointed toward this church from exactly this view and told you like, oh yeah, I've never seen a church like that. The architecture looks so unique. I just remembered wanting to take a picture, but I just put my camera in the back, so I didn't. And then we come back and you show me this. It's the exact same picture. It's the view so I just remembered it in my head very clearly. But I remember, if I remember correctly, when we were looking at it, the sea was behind us.
Yes. So we can imagine Van Gogh hearing the sea and maybe struggling with putting the canvas on with the wind.
But for me, it's interesting the lavender, because the lavender is that one that protects you for insects. Then if you have lavender in your room, the insect don't go. And he was looking for a place where to stay. A lot of things. That is good.
Possibly, yeah.
It could be. Or maybe he just liked the smell.
The
Or,
smell, the
or
view.
it was representative for that area. The
Mhm.
Provence is very known for.
And lavender is very calm, very, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But in terms of pictorial view, I would like to talk about the colors here, because the lavender it has these touches of violet in the painting, these lines of violet colors, and they contrast with the green, which is the predominant color in this painting. The sky is green, the bottom part is green, so we have a lot of green. And in the center we have this orange village.
Yeah, like you put the
orange and
equilibrium in the vertical,
balance.
in the balance, but in the other way. But for me it's interesting because he made here more draws and some paintings too. But it's interesting comparing the draw that he made first with the paint that this one that he made after. Maybe you can put in the video and the
For
book.
sure.
Yeah, because it's interesting because it was a big sun here. You saw the draw, yeah. It's a big sun here.
On the left side
more,
of the church,
it's more large.
it's
And
a big
after
sun
I
already.
think he was thinking more because it looked like it don't have importance the church, and I think he wanted to give more importance to the church, and he cut a little bit the image, the church take more importance, and he eliminate that sun there. Don't see just you see the shadows, and he put some people. This is very interesting for me. The two women, one here and another one in the right
Yeah,
side.
because in the drawing we saw a couple of
And the house is a
woman.
little bit changed too.
yeah.
Okay, what I wanted to say before to go to answer the phone, is that I forgot to say something in the last episode when we speak about Van Gogh, about the meaning of the painting. I was thinking more in it, and first I say that it's he transmit his feelings in that painting, that he's in the Iceland, and the other one he looked the other people like a little bit separated, but I'm not sure that if maybe it's his feelings too, but I think he want more to transmit the feelings of the people, the couple that is in the island, the love that they have. I think he's more empathize with them, with the couple. They are happy, they are smiling to him. I think he's happy because they are happy. I think it's some compassion, some empathizing the feelings of them, you know. And here I think it's the same for this that I was thinking, because this woman here, you see that woman, I think it's very important, and I suppose it's Sunday or something like this. They go to the church, and the church, big church in there, and she's alone. Maybe she was lose somebody, or could be something like this, or just go to the church. I don't know.
You think in the black clothes?
Yeah, she's in black.
But we in the drawing we see
But
the
I think it's
couple
something-
of women, so maybe they are just in about to meet.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, but
people about
for
to
sure
meet.
he was thinking in it, and
Well, he observed the ambience there, the movement of the people. So for sure, he was in touch with not only the houses, but the what was happening around him. Like
yeah, but
Atmosphere.
what I want to say that I was thinking further that he's about him, and I think now what about the village, how he feel the village, the people of the village, church, big church.
the sky, the colors of the sky.
The religion is very important for them. It's for this that the biggest building that you see is the church.
Yeah, he's not putting mountains like
Yeah.
Friedrich or
Yeah, the
trees.
biggest thing it's the church. It's sure it's no other thing in the paysage, the landscape, how we saw, but he could draw a mountain or something, I don't know, or look in the other side to don't see the church, the biggest thing. So I think it's representative.
Yeah, here for sure. And if you go in that village, you feel that it's like the whole village is around the church.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, I just go to the sea and just take the sun. I didn't go to the church.
But you have a perspective
Yeah.
because it's
you
saw actually
you look, you
from
have
the
the
perspective of
biggest point that you your orientation, you take it from that point, the biggest point, the church. Okay.
But yeah, I think there's something about I just found it interesting that both are wearing black.
Mm-hmm.
Both the people. Because how often would you wear black? And maybe it's a super common color back then, I think. But to me, that's also is there a funeral going on?
Yeah,
in
for me the same. It's something foreign, something related, or Sunday morning when it's the misa or something.
Because it's the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the sun.
Yeah, we see the sun radiating into the houses,
Mm-hmm.
which brings the colors.
These colors, it's interesting, and I would like to speak about.
All things, the colors, yeah.
No, but the colors. I want to say the colors of the, because we saw a lot of paintings now in these days staying in Arles of Van Gogh, and he changed the colors, he changed the drawings. I was reading now letters to Theo that said that the drawing is not so important for him. And he don't want to be realistic, either with the draw, either with the colors. But he changed a lot of the colors. It's because he don't see good. He want to transmit something with it. Because, for example, you see these houses. This is that wood. I don't know the name. It's old houses.
Straw.
Yeah, the houses on front that look a bit different from
Yeah,
from
the
the rest.
typical houses from that area.
We saw some.
Which we saw.
Okay, but after you look these shadows in these houses,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
we suppose the sun come from the left side, yeah. So you have this in the right shadow blue. How can be blue?
Well, because it's in contrast with
No,
the.
I think it's impossible to be blue. You don't see a shadow blue.
No, but he
Yeah.
was exaggerating, of course,
A lot.
because the warm sun is creating the yellowish tone, and then to contrast that in the shadow, of course, you have bluer tone. In photography, for instance, when you balance the color, the white balance,
Mm-hmm.
if you go in a shadow, you have a scene in the shadow, you have to put the balance towards blue to make it whiter.
Okay, maybe I have to check
Neutral.
the camera. Maybe I have to change to
Yeah.
check the camera.
Okay.
And you have any opinion about these
About the colors.
shadows, for example?
Shadows.
And
I was comparing them to the lavender fields, that they are very similar, at least on the
Mhm.
right side.
yeah, totally. I
That-
was about to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking too. Maybe he don't have too many paintings, and he just okay. I don't have just blue, yellow, and black. Let's use this. I put shadow here, lavender here, the blue for the sky. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, that's how you create harmony using the same colors everywhere, but organized in
contrast.
different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Because the lavender have this linear direction, the linear feeling, and then the houses are like dots. They are more static.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of go through the village with the lavender field. You are getting introduced in the scene, and then in the village you are more static. You are calmer. Yeah, everything gets more horizontal, like in the movement with
Like
of the people.
begin to go in the streets of the village.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, it's like this. You go to in the lavender, and after you try to find your way to go to the church.
Yeah,
In the-
for sure, Van Gogh who understood very well the
The
space
composition.
around him.
And from the church, you go directly to the sky.
But about the linear thing, that's something I thought about a lot when looking at this. Is the lavender fields are. It's also relevant because I'm painting a cityscape as well, where I'm painting buildings, and I thought a lot about the perspective that the lavender field is going forward, straight forward, just straight normal perspective, and then the whole city just turns, or the whole village just turns, and goes on the other direction. And I was just curious, what is this a normal? Is this a normal way of thinking about perspective, or what's going on? Is it that the rest of the village is just tilted differently? Probably.
Mm-hmm. But that gives dimension, like because you understand different directions in the space. It gives you more space to play with. If everything would be like on the same line, it would be a bit boring, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he played with these houses a bit, not totally.
The houses
frontal.
are different from the drawing. True, it's interesting because if you see the drawing, it's not the same. The houses that have here.
You could see more the right side.
Yeah.
Or it's more.
No, I don't know.
frontal.
Here in this zone, it changed a little bit the houses. I don't know what.
Mhm.
Just for the painting to be interesting, or it look better. I don't know. Or
Yeah,
maybe it was just
for
a
the
sketch
same reason.
fast or something.
For the same reason, the portraits
Mhm.
many times are in 3/4 or a bit, not totally frontal. So you can create depth with that.
Uh-huh.
And the light also is not frontal, because otherwise it would flatten the face.
For me here, he exaggerated the colors. He more changed the colors of the shadows, for example. But in general, in a lot of paintings of him, you see this changing of colors, sometimes totally different that it's in the reality, because he want to empathize more, to give some feelings. If it will be all the shadows in black, it will be more real maybe, but not the same composition, not the same connected. The lavender with the houses.
But Van Gogh was talking about his interest for not representing naturalism,
what I said before,
but rather the clear vibrating colors of the object itself. If the boat, for instance, it's blue, he would paint it blue, or if he had details of orange, it would paint it orange directly, and not looking too much at the shadows or. Yeah, so he was more like attracted to the vibration of the colors themselves of the objects.
Okay, I want to say something about a letter that I read some letters from him to his brother Theo, and that days when he stayed in Saint-Marie, and it was some interesting thing that I take it from there. It was funny. At the beginning of the letter, he said that he found a place where to stay, and he found it for 4 francs, and he was very proud about this. And he said to his brother Theo, and he said that the owner, he asked for 6 at the beginning. So my brother Theo, you have to be proud of me.
Of course.
You did a bit good business. I don't just waste your money. Take care about it. Something like this. And after, it was funny. He said that a very handsome gendarme come to interview me here.
Mm-hmm.
He take it like interview, but I suppose the gendarme come to say, "Hey, what are you doing here? What's your problem? What are you doing? You are you're a pedophile or something? You're looking for a kid in the nature here?"
Yeah, so talk to me.
No, paintings. We come from Paris. There we paint.
I'm an artist.
What artist? Yeah. No, and after he say to his brother, "Oh, somebody very handsome come to answer me. How is the life?" He take me an interview here. Suppose he will publish in some magazine. It's interesting. The
Obvious star here.
the point of view. Okay, it's, this was what I want to say for this video. If you have something to,
Maybe Sebastian has something.
yeah, he's
To have something. I just generally have a fascination for Van Gogh's colors because we talk so much about how different they are from reality. But I felt as soon as I arrived in the area by train, I could see Van Gogh's paintings in front of me. And it's like same with this village that I can really feel it. Oh yeah, I saw these colors when I was there. There was something about it, some sort of, especially the warm colors.
Yeah, the warmth of the stone, the church is that I don't know the name of the stone, but it had some warmth. It's not gray stone. It's
And I think
yellowish.
we discussed this especially on the beach, because since I studied some geology, I had a fascination for, wow, you can see the cracks, you can see the little minerals. And I noticed a big difference from north of France with their white. Their, I think it's limestone or, basically the white chalk stone. And here I think they use sandstone, for it, which you could really see with, which obviously have the more warm colors. But also in general, just the colors of the roofs and how different it is from northern France, which feels almost more blue.
Yeah, he said that he wanted to bring the artist in the south because it was the ideal for him to make the group of painters there, but not just because he want community. Maybe these two he want but he want to help them to say that it's much better the light here and all the idealistic thing that he saw there, and he just do it with Gauguin. He had a lot of letters trying to convince him to come there, and after they had a fight and it's finished.
Oh.
But I think he was looking, for sure from his point of view, he was thinking it would be better for them to come there and to paint there. But it was just his point of view. For example, he said that after life in South for a while, your vision change. You see with a more Japanese eye. You feel the color differently. The precise drawing, the right color, is not perhaps the essential element we should look for.
What was the last part?
He said that the drawing and the perfect color is not the what you have to look for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's more focused on the movement, what's happening there, the activity of the people, the life around him.
Yeah, and the painting is don't have to be a photo. What he said.
Okay. And in that time, photography
Begins to be
started
more, start to be more important,
and the impressionist painters from Paris used a lot
the photography.
as reference. Yes, and there were even photographers who were working for the painters to create like a stock images for them to use, like models, photographies of the city of the Paris.
So it was a little bit. He wanted to be contra the photographer.
Yeah, he knew he wanted to break the.
And another thing that was for me was interesting reading these letters, that he was there in the small village with a few people, like lost there in Iceland, but he was in touch with Theo and with a lot of other people, and he always know the news from Paris, what happened, the exhibitions, or what happened, the painters that have problems with academy, all these things. He was knew all the news. It was very interesting because it was like an exhibition where some friends of him, like Pissarro, they was refused.
Yeah, they were refused.
refuse with that exhibition, say the idiots then don't appreciate the art or something like this. So he was knew all the things, not completely lost in his in physically and psychical, not like a crazy man. It was a little bit crazy, yeah, but he was not completely. He was communicate with the people for sure.
Detached. He was not detached from reality of his circle of art and of
people too,
and of people around him. Yeah, we totally see the connection.
Yeah, I'm agree with what I say.
But I would like to know your opinion about this green. Why is he using so much the green? Instead of blue, he's putting green. Well, isn't that weird?
Where you want to
the
say?
sky is totally turquoise. It has a turquoise tone.
Because it's more cheap the green, not the blue.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
It's ultramarine, no? It's very expensive.
No, but it's not the.
I know the ultramarine. It's the cheap
it's
one.
synthetic. Back then, it was invented by French guy actually.
Okay,
we have this color which is used in many paintings of Van Gogh. It's
in the sky or in general?
It's like
in the portraits that they have with the in his eyes, he was fascinating with this. Why?
Do you think it's maybe because of the warmth he wanted to add towards to the blue instead of blue, which is a bit too realistic? He maybe wanted to add a warm tone to it, to blend with the colors of the village, the colors of the earth. So
you want to change maybe something.
So maybe he want to create this new feeling of the sky. How you feel the sky, not only how you see the sky. So that's my question. How do you feel this sky?
Yeah, for sure. It's more. It's not realistic, but it's more warm. It's more engaged with the whole image. If it will be a blue, I think like this blue of lavender, for example, it will be more distant. Yeah, it's a good word.
But that is something very. It's almost like it's opposite of what you'd expect, because there are a lot of cold colors close to you and warm colors far away from you.
Yeah.
Which we have a person waving at us back there.
Okay.
It's like the
conclusion.
How many?
2 minutes.
Okay.
2 minutes. Oh dear. Yeah. But yeah, that the sky feels closer to you and the foreground. It's like they're normally that gives a feeling of flat, but I think in this case it somehow doesn't. It more feels like it's all part of one whole.
It's interesting that you say. I didn't.
I find the relation a bit with the Japanese landscape, because they have a lot of empty space around. It's not only a character like in a Renaissance painting when the people are creating all the composition, but it's rather the landscape and the people integrated in the landscape. So here we see a big lavender field that it's almost half of the painting, if not more, and then the village, the people.
And after sky bigger too. More big. And it's like a balance between the sky, the God, and the ground, the people. This is in typical Japanese style. The yin and yang.
Yeah, he very much thought about the colors and the lines and how he put the strongest contrast in the middle with the yellow and black houses. Then he put around the glowing warm colors, the oranges and the yellows, and afterwards the greens. I think he.
But you think he was thinking in this, or this is in a good position, this is a good position, or just he feeling, felt?
He thought.
Okay,
he thought first, and then he felt like this is good. I feel this matches with what I think he worked by intuition, but we also know he had these strings of colors with him. He had a little box, and he compared these vibrating colors. He put them next to each other and say so if they were matching.
How is the contrast?
What the relation was the relation between them.
But maybe this was I don't know. I just suppose it was just in the beginning, and after some years, he was doing just this automatically. It come to him automatically, just the intuition, the feeling.
We have to think about his period of painting as a painter. It was just 10 years, and the first years he was basically painting monochromatic. He discovered
The
colors in Paris with the Impressionists. So he was thinking a lot the theory.
Yeah.
He took the theory of the Impressionists and he tried to evolve it. It was not just something that he lived or he grew with. No, he just encountered that and he knew he wanted to use it. So he has his methods, his theory, very solid.
But I didn't tell you about his day. We spoke the last episode. We speak in Romanian. Because it's interesting with this relation that he have with the people, that he is not, the painting are not about him, are more about the people. And it was interesting his death, that normally all the people know that it was a suicide, and in the history it remained like a suicide. But some people was asking if it was really a suicide, and a lot of people say that it was maybe not a suicide, he was murdered by somebody. And this was like this theory say that he was not shot because somebody wanted to do it, but it was an accident. Some kids playing with a gun shot him, and he didn't want to reclaim to the police because it will think that they will have problems, and just say that he did it by himself. And after he did with this, but a lot of people say that this because it's his mental problems don't make you to do this, and because
the suicide.
The suicide, and more argues that say that it's not a suicide. So this is interesting because, and I think in this theory I think it's true. Because he want to help the people, he understand the people. He, like in this painter and the other one with the bridge, he take his happiness from the other something. He was he tried to bring Gauguin there because he know that he will be happy if Gauguin will be happy and will paint good there.
Yeah, like a monk.
Like exactly.
Sharing the happiness of the others.
Exactly.
And it's such a funny perspective for me because I've always been taught every time I hear Van Gogh, like, yeah, it was crazy, he was mentally ill and depressed, but it's such an oversimplification when you see a lot of his pictures and when you hear stories like this, that even if someone is mentally ill, they haven't been like that for all their life, and they're not like that all the time. They have their joyous moments and their very good side as well.
So we can finish now because we have somebody waiting for us.
Let's go for.
Okay, let's go.
For
let Van Gogh here
or something.
Okay,
Very well.
it was nice.
See you next time.
See you.